Jake, as we watched our Bears last week pull out a victory. And one of the main reasons, and we were talking before the show, Cutler had a little time to throw last week.
Yeah, quite impressive, actually, for what it's been. I think, it feels like the offense is actually putting this on despite Mike Martz. It's almost like Martz has his way of doing things, and now the offense is starting to do things their way.
And sometimes that doesn't work out too well.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that's not a good long-term solution. So the other thing is the Bears going over to across the pond there, if you will, to play this week. Could be kind of interesting as Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and that, let's see, Chicago is at noon at Tampa Bay, but it's at London. I'd seen that on the schedule previously, but I'm not sure all of maybe the main reason why. Do you have any idea?
Just to broadcast the NFL to other areas, other parts of the world. They've done it a few times before. I think the Bears also played in Toronto once a few years back and a couple other locations. But, it's kind of a cool idea. I like the idea of it, but, it takes some of your prep time away. Football is a very physical game where you need recovery time and whatnot. I don't know if this is really...
the plane ride isn't exactly a time to recover.
No.
I wouldn't think on the way either.
Especially for big, oversized athletes.
And it takes one of the home games away also for your season, too. And looking...
That's where Lovie Smith says. He says, I'd rather play in England than Tampa Bay. So
really?
Those are his exact words.
Well, Lovey's another topic, but Green Bay is winning that National Conference, the NFC North. Green Bay 6-0, Detroit 5-1, Chicago is in third at 3-3, and the Vikings coming in at 1-5. So to me, Jake, as we've watched the NFL, here in the first couple of weeks, I think you got to put Green Bay and Detroit ahead of Chicago and Minnesota by quite a wide margin.
I'm going to completely agree with that. Yeah.
I don't know that we can stop Detroit, or we've showed we can't stop Green Bay. So it looks like it's going to be the Packers and the Lions. We haven't talked about the Lions being up there in quite a while, but it's going to be a two-team race in that North.
You never know what's going to happen. I mean, to be honest, which is any team, but Detroit's an injury away, and their whole season's flipped upside down. But, hopefully that doesn't happen for them unless you're a Bears fan and you wish ill on the entire
or
Central.
Packer fan.
Or a Packer fan, yeah.
Well, I think it might be the same way with Green Bay. If Rodgers goes down, boy, their passing game goes down quite a bit. Yeah,
and if it's not a serious injury, I could see the Packers sustaining for a couple weeks, though, without.
Leading the AFC in the East is New England 5-1, Buffalo 4-2. Tennessee is ahead in the South, and that's kind of a weak division, although I thought Houston was going to start out real well as they faltered. Now they're 3-3. Baltimore ahead in the North at 4-1. Cincinnati right behind them at 4-2. Pittsburgh 4-2. Cleveland 2-3. And then San Diego, I guess probably the pick to win out West, although the Oakland Raiders have given them a little contest so far. San Diego's 4-1, Oakland 4-2 to kind of round out the AFC. In the NFC, the rest of the divisions, New York Giants 4-2. The South, Tampa Bay's leading that, tied with New Orleans at 4-2. And out West, a surprise, I think, a new coach. The San Francisco 49ers in a very weak division, as it looks like, 5-1. Seattle 2-3. Arizona 1-4, and the St. Louis Rams, who a lot of people thought, and I think even you had mentioned a little bit, Jake, that they were kind of on the up and up and haven't been able to put it together.
No, it's just how they finished last year. They just missed the playoffs, but you were thinking, this team might have something, and boy, they're playing just horrendous.
Yeah, and they can't score. They're giving up. Their defense is bad. It looks like points for the St. Louis has scored 49 points, and they've given up 137.
Ow.
There's quite a difference in there, and that doesn't spell for too many wins.
It hurts to make the season ticket sales.
Yeah, not a lot of the W column.
I'll actually be down there here in a couple weeks.
You go everywhere, I think. You're going to Michigan game.
Michigan game, got great seats and a parking pass.
Yeah, you've been loving that parking pass.
That parking pass is unbelievable. I'm not gonna lie.
And you're going to the Rams game.
Going to the Rams game. Got great spot for tailgating there.
Good. Good.
Absolutely.
Hey, Jake, also coming from the NFL, a guy that you loved, especially for your beloved Bears, Olin Kreutz. Pretty much told Coach Payton out in New Orleans, Sean Payton, that he just doesn't have the fire anymore.
Yeah. Which I think is what the Bears were seeing last year.
Yeah.
But
says he has to doesn't really feel the passion anymore.
Just going to walk away.
Yeah, walking away right now. Of course, he's 34 years old.
Which in NFL terms is 75.
Yeah, is retirement, especially at the position that he's played in as long as he has played. But, it's kind of strange, a guy calling it quits. You think in that kind of system, very complex, I'm sure, but he does a lot of pass blocking, which isn't near as hard as a run block, I'm assuming. Mm-hmm. And you think, you got a chance to win. You're tied in the division. You're 4-2. A guy can, I guess he just doesn't have the fire anymore. Doesn't have the fire, but it'd be hard to run away from a team that's projected to make the playoffs.
And your money,
right?
I mean, he was not a cheap little acquisition there.
Yeah, he signed a 1-year contract last year for $2 million, and I don't know how that all works out as far as the money goes. But
if you retire, the money's gone.
Do you get paid for the first 5 weeks or whatever, or 6 weeks?
No, you do get paid to play basically. If you don't play, you don't get the money.
Well, I'm sure maybe he's invested what he's had been playing for a long time.
Considered one of the best centers of all time.
Right. So a career ended for Olin Kreutz on a guy that the Bears really liked and didn't want to stay with the Bears any longer. So, Jake, that's going to wrap up the NFL real quick. I see Coach Mack has pulled up to Jake's Furnishings. That's where we are, located at 1100 Woodlawn Road. We're going to take a quick commercial break and have Coach McDonald from the Lincoln Railer football team back on. You're listening to Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM and WLCN online.com. Back out here at Jake's Furnishings, located at 1100 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln, open 7 days a week. Phone 735-1212 or go online to jakesfurnishings.com. As Josh Komnick, the furniture guy, Jake Johnston here. Jake, what's going on out here at Jake's for furniture-wise besides the cheap seats?
I was going to say the cheap seats.
Well, I realize that.
We got some sales going on. A lot to do with the internet right now. If you get a chance to check out jakesfurnishings.com, definitely do so. We're about ready to hit a big change on that. Some things are happening there that are going to be real exciting for any of you internet viewers.
Internet junkies.
Yep.
All right, perfect. Hey, Jake, we've got, I guess maybe for the last time in the 2011 season, Coach Andy McDonald from your Lincoln Railers. Coach, thanks for joining us once again here on the Cheap Seats.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
Coach, this week leading up to the game, which was a little bit of a different week, you had a little short time to get the guys prepared. Nonetheless, against one of the toughest teams probably you've faced this year, number 1 ranked team, Sacred Heart Griffin. Was there anything different going on through the week? How did you plan your practice schedules out being a Thursday game and not a regular Friday?
Yeah, I tried to go over a few more things on Monday, but and then we basically just had kind of the one hard physical practice as opposed to 2 in the week, and which I don't think was really a big deal. At this point in the year, the guys are a little slower to recover from previous games, and you got some soreness going on and stiffness, and so that really I don't think was really a major factor for us.
Coach, you've got, of course, travel to Memorial Stadium on Thursday night. Fell up short against Sacred Heart Griffin, as a lot of teams do and have this year. What was your message this week coming into a game, knowing that the kind of the playoffs were out of the question? You're coming in against a team that is obviously the best in the state at their level, at their class, trying to get the guys prepared and ready to go.
We kind of emphasized that obviously this was going to be a tall mountain to climb to beat them. We wanted to go out and compete as hard as we could. That we've been very proud of the way that the guys have worked this year and have competed week after week and have played hard and we've gotten behind in several games early but have not quit, and guys have continued to play the games hard, and we expected the same thing this week, and that we're going to be proud of them if they come out and play hard and go after SHG, a great program, great team. Go out there, no fear, with a lot of courage, and just battle them as hard as we can.
As the game began, what does Griffin? Why are they number 1? I mean, what do they have across the board as a defense, as an offense, as special teams. What brings them as obviously the 0 losses and the tradition that they've had, but what sets them apart from some of the other teams that we've played?
Well, again, it's that success breeds success. X's and O's, they're not doing anything that differently than anybody else. There's no magic or great trickery there. They've got great athletes. They've got just a lot of kids that live and breathe football. You look at the size of them, the size of the legs on some of the guys, even the receivers. You can tell they've spent a lot of time in the weight room with the thickness in the lower body strength. They're extremely aggressive. They're fast, athletic, and again they have a great pride in playing their position and playing to win, and then they know that positional wise. That if they don't do their job, there's probably a guy right there behind them that's very similar in ability and aggressiveness and strength, ready to take their position.
Well, a good recruiting class doesn't help either.
Well, and the fact that
Sorry, Coach.
they know they're going to win. I mean, the confidence that they have in that going out and just playing as hard as they can, of course, all the time. But to win every game and what they put together is pretty neat. I mean, as far as seeing a team in this area from that size of a town, when you go up against the towns in Chicago or the cities in Chicago, the suburbs, that our conference is got to be one of the best in the state.
Oh, I think so, yeah. And we talked the other day that several of the schools in our conference, I mean, they're in the playoffs year after year. Great tradition. The kids grow up in the town with a great pride in the program, and that's something that we're going to strive to do.
Sure. And, Coach, as that game goes on, and I just got to bring it up to you, what season's done. 21-0 in the first quarter, and we talked a little bit off this air, but onside by Griffin, first quarter, they're up 21-0. Jake said it probably would have thrown him off guard a little bit. Myself, I would not have expected. Were you kind of expecting that?
No, not at all.
Absolutely, you were, Coach.
Yeah. That's. I'll say that's typically probably not done in that situation, I wouldn't think. But again, I think they're trying to instill a sense of relentlessness and
you're being nice right now for our listeners.
I'm trying to think of the positive aspect of
why that was made.
That was made.
Yeah, a little different strategy going against. But Coach, on the outcome, all in all, the game, the guys gave it what you wanted. Obviously, the outcome wasn't it, but. For the overall of the game and after the game, what did you have to say for the guys?
Yeah, again, we're real proud of the commitment, and especially we focused a lot more on the seniors being their last game, and we know it's football's a lot different than most other sports. Once you're done in high school, if you're not going on to play at the next level, you'll never play it again.
It's pretty hard to have a pickup game.
Yeah, you're right. And it's very difficult. And
it's not true. Memorial Park Sundays.
Well, that's our touch is different than putting the pads on.
Right.
Well, buying that football equipment on your own is kind of expensive.
Exactly. Coach, all in all, season throughout, give us an overview of what you thought the team got better, what we need to work on, and kind of the things that we can expect in the future coming from a Lincoln Railer team headed by Coach Andy McDonald.
Well, one of the things that we really emphasized at the very beginning of the season and in the summer was just being aggressive and playing real hard. And I think that we did do that. I think the group of leaders that we had in the senior class led the way and do that. I think that was not a stretch for them to get them to play hard. A lot of guys love football. Our practices were more physical, I think, and the guys really enjoyed the combativeness and the challenge of the game of football and drills, and did a great job of that and battling. As far as getting better, one thing that obviously can help is to get more numbers out there and get more athletes out there. It always can make you better in practice if you're practicing against somebody who's of similar or equal ability to you. And so we're constantly recruiting kids in the halls and the younger kids, and that we think football is just a great sport for boys that are growing into young men to do. And we think that they can get a lot of positive benefits as far as some life learning lessons out of it also.
You quickly become a man if you're not.
Yeah.
In football. And Coach, and you've got a lot of seniors you're going to be losing this year. What are some of the major things that we have to replace from how many seniors that we're losing, and really kind of by position?
Yeah, I mean, we're leaving 20 seniors, and for the most part, 10 offensive positions and about 9 defensive positions. So we've got a lot of positions to fill. Our junior, sophomores, and freshmen have a lot of work to do in the off season, whether they're playing an off-season sport, which we do encourage. We think that makes them more athletic and more competitive. And if they're not doing that, then we're expecting them to be in the weight room and make themselves better athletes that way. Yeah,
I was going to ask, being your first-year head coach now and your first off-season coming up, what are some of the things? Do you get to go to any type of camps, or do you just mainly stay at the high school and work out in that new weight room?
Yeah, we're pretty limited as far as football things that we can do. I mean, we can condition and work, but there's no team football practices that you can hold, over the winter and off season, until we get into the summer. Guys, obviously, quarterbacks can work on throwing, receivers can work on catching. They can hold a football while they're doing agility drills, stuff like that. There are some conditioning drills that linemen can work on that are maybe a little more football specific, and we'll try to incorporate those also.
Sure. Coach, you brought some stats in. I'm looking and just going through as we're looking kind of together here. I see Andy Cruz, Moses Rogers, Zach Schlater, Leisinger, Cooper, all in the rushing. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, all five seniors?
Yes, all 5 of those are
seniors.
Okay,
so you've got Andy Cruz, 646 yards this year. Zach Schlater, 508 yards. Moses Rogers, 291 yards. Garrett Cooper, 252, and James Leisinger, 185. So if you're in that recruiting trail, we better be finding a back.
Yeah. We got the guys. This is kind of what we expected. We had a lot of guys that can run the ball. One mentioned Moses Rogers. We found out actually Thursday that he had a cracked hip, and that's why he wasn't able to play Thursday night, and even the 2 previous games before that was kind of banged up, and so that's kind of unfortunate. James Leisinger has become the all-time yardage passing leader, in high school, 2,104 yards, and then he also surpassed the career touchdown passes. 23
touchdowns. Good. And you've got, even looking on some of the receiving, Logan Armbruster, Zach Schlater, Evan Shirley, 2 seniors. I'm not sure about Evan. He's a senior
also,
too.
Yes.
So as you said, a lot of the offense gone, a lot of the tacklers gone. You've got Zach Schlater, Andy Cruz right at the top with tackles. Dane Eimer, I believe, is back.
He's a junior.
Yeah, junior coming back with leading the tackles. So a lot to fill in, but nothing. Some hard work and getting the guys going out there for. Coach, before we let you go, we want to thank you. I know you're going to get down to Sacred Heart Griffin for the freshman game yet this morning, but from 96.3 FM and all our listeners from Railer Nation, the Furniture Guy, Jake, Josh, we want to thank you for coming in every Saturday, bringing the seniors in and having them talk with us, and as you've been courteous enough every Saturday to come on.
Well, and guys, we really appreciate what you do and giving us some coverage and some well-deserved coverage, I think, because these kids work really hard, and we appreciate 96.3 covering the games also.
Sure. Sounds good, Coach. Well, that's going to do it for the 2011 season. And if you're, stopping by Jake sometime and we're here as you're buying some couches or recliners or something, stop in and talk to us.
I think I'm due for a mattress. I may be coming to talk to him.
There we go. That's how I set up a deal for you, Jake. All right, that's going to do it, Coach. Thanks for coming in all season long. He's headed to the freshman game to go watch them, and I'm sure doing a little coaching on the sideline as well. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. We've got Jake's beloved St. Louis Cardinals to talk about in the World Series. You're here from the Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM and WLCN online.com.